Good morning and slightly and afternoon. Judy Allen here, San Antonio, Texas. And today we are going to use an egg carton to make a treat holder. We're going to actually make two of them, right? Two different designs because they're both quick and easy. And I don't know about you, but Easter's April the 5th, right? For me, though, it seems like it's tomorrow because I have on stage to go to, and I know I'll make some of these up for them because I like to give gifts, right? We do pillow gifts and exchanges, especially with team members and friends we haven't seen, as well as we do card swaps too. So I have to get going to be prepared because that is like March 11th. So, and Easter's right behind it. So it's a lot of things happening. But first, I'm going to start off with a sneak peek for you. I'll give you a sneak peek of the Sweet Bugs Stamp Camp that I'm doing with three other friends and demonstrators, and I only have two spots left. So if you're like on the fence or you're thinking about it, you're putting it off, just letting you know there are two spots left. All right, so I'm going to show you a sneak peek of that, and then I'm going to also show you a sneak peek of the February Adventure Club, which also features this bundle here, the Easter basket. All right, so let's go down the hands and do it. 'Cause today, truly, we're going to keep one of our projects simple, and then we're going to step the other one up. All right, so let's do this. So these are last week. This is what we did last week. I made one of these here. This is the Easter basket, and so you see that I passed a cascaroni egg in it. We talked about that last week. And this one, I put some candy in it. I had some in it last week. I stuffed a little small stuffed animal you can put in here. And what I did with this one here from last week, it's got candy in it, but also I just went ahead and stuck these two together with a little bit of glue here, right? And that way this one's attached. So it just depends on how you want it. This one's open, this one's closed. You can even close it with ribbon if you wanted to, right? Okay, so let me set those aside for you. And then here are, let me start here. I know we're looking at Easter. These are actually the sneak peeks from the kit this month, the Adventure Club. Here's another one here. And this one is a pop-up. Pops up like this. And then the last one here. So we have four of these. This month is a little bit different. We have a fun flap here too. And this month we normally do 4 cards and a 3D project. These two were left over. These are from our retreat. So this month, because it's Easter, and I always like to do some faith-based in there as well too. There's 2 bonus cards. So here's one of the bonus cards here, and here's the other bonus card here. So I always like to do some with a cross on it as well too. So that's a sneak peek for the club. Now here's the sneak peek for the stamp camp. So here's the card right here, and this has one of my favorite wobbles on it. When I designed it, I wanted a wobble on it. It's got a wobble. And this one is actually a treat holder. I know lots of times we do treat holders this way, but I wanted mine to be when they ate the treat, they could still stand it up and it could be seen, and you could also put something on the back there as well too. So that is your sneak peeks between the club this month as well as the stamp camp. All right, so let's get to our egg carton. This is an egg carton that I made, and we're gonna make it just a little bit different with some different colors. I will tell you this one here, when you open it up, how cute is this, right? So when you open it up, I want to be careful. I put a cascaroni egg in here, or a confetti egg, whichever you may know it by, or you don't know it all, you're gonna learn something new. And then I stuffed it with some candy here, and some Easter grass. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the other. You're going to have to decide when we get through with both of them. You have to decide which way you want to do things based on which way you design your egg carton, all right? So this is the first one I did for my sample. Now let's sit there and let's do one right here. So I left my options open to if I wanted to stuff it with, or if I wanted to wrap it with ribbon, I could, all right? So the lid here, just the top part right here, the dimensions of this is, I got it written down here, it's 3.5 by 1 5/8. All right. So that's all I've done, and I'm gonna do here is I've got my little packet of stuff that I already pre-cut. So I'm gonna just go ahead and close this because this one I'm not gonna wrap around or anything that's gonna cause it, right, to close. So if you wanted to wrap a ribbon around it, you could, right? We're gonna on the next one we make, we're gonna wrap something around it, all right? But this one I'm not. This one I'm going to make just like this. I'm going to change out the color scheme. Because I wanted to use the blue and white checkered ribbon, and it just didn't look good with this. So I thought, all right, this round we're going to change out the color scheme. So this time I'm using, so if you can see, this is Pastels Shimmer, and it has 3 colors in it. It has this yellow, Lemon Lolly. It has also Soft Seafoam Color Shimmer, and then it also has the Pretty in Pink. So I'm just going to glue this down. So, right, when you get through cutting your paper, it's going to have squared edges. So what you're going to do to round it off is you're just going to use either a circle punch, or if you have something that's round that you can stick on the edge, and just draw a pencil and cut it around, however you want to do it. Right, a circle punch for me is just as easy. Right, it just has to be consistent. Okay, what we're adding to the top of this is, so I'm going to keep some of the things the same, right? We're going to keep the same bling. We're still going to keep the chocolate Easter bunny, because when I think of Easter baskets and Easter and all, I always think of the, and I've already eaten one. I've already eaten a chocolate one because it was a leftover from the goodie bags that we sent out to people for the Adventure Club. So I get to eat the leftovers when I send out chocolate. So I've already eaten an Easter bunny. It wasn't a solid chocolate like this, but it's very nostalgic, right? It reminds you of childhood. Or this kid that's still in us that we might want to have our own Easter basket. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this down. This became my focal point in the center. I didn't need a whole lot of glue. I just needed to stick down, right? And so this little bunny here, let's see if I wrote down the measurements. If not, I have a ruler handy here. So this is early espresso cardstock that I used for the bunny here. So I get my chocolate bunny. So that is 1 1/4 by 1 inch, all right? That's all it takes. Just use your scraps. That's all I do on these things is I use the scraps. The next thing I did is I've got here are these little chicks. Now I actually stamped, because I didn't want to color the chick. So I went ahead and I just stamped it with smoky slate ink is what I stamped this with. And I'm just going to color then the beak, because you think if I'm going to do this for friends and people at the nursing home and people, my customers, right? And I'm going to still do it also for on stage in California. I got to find some quicker ways to do things, right? So this was a quicker way. Instead of me coloring the chick, I just stamped the chick image here. And I'm just going to put them right here for the moment so we can see it. Now, if you sit there and die cut and you're not happy with it, then just take your snips, right? Your paper snips, and just trim around it. Hi, Vertner. Amazon is my friend. Whoop, whoop. So, yes, it's amazing the things you can find and get. So I'm just going to cut around this here, right? Now it's up to you, right? It doesn't have to. I'm just doing it in one. Now when I go and put this down, what I did is we're going to take the grass. And the grass here is, I did mark this one down. This is Extra Summer Splash. It's 3/4 inch by 2 1/4. And so let me just move these up, just sort of getting placement, right? I'm not putting them down yet, just sort of getting where I'm going. I just put glue just barely on the edge here. In fact, that's more than I wanted. Just enough on the edge, just the edge, because I'm going to tuck in some Easter eggs. Just 2. But so I don't want it, so solid I can't tuck in a couple Easter eggs. And I would tell you, the eggs, I cut them in half. I literally just took my scissors and cut them in half because it was just hard to tuck them in there. So I'm just going to stick this right here, just right across down here at the bunny. All right, now what I did with the chicks, because you're going to create bulk, right? When you're going to stuff some eggs in there. I got 2 eggs to stuff in there. And here's the half an egg. And then if I don't see the other half an egg, that's fine. I got enough eggs to do enough. All right, I'm just going to take the mini dimensional, the small dimensional, all right? And I'm just going to put it behind the head of the chick because I want it to have the 3D look, but I don't want to have the bulk at the bottom with the grass because I've got still eggs put down there. So if you just sit there and put the mini, just take your mini, right, dimensional, just put it at the top of the head there, And it's going to give me the 3D look, right? But I'm still going to be able to tuck the feet of the chick right in here, okay? So I'm not putting them down yet because I'm going to get my eggs first. And I can go ahead and get this. This is on the outside. So this I put on dimensionals too, but you can see how now I've changed the color scheme. So the first one here on the right, I did was soft sea foam, right? The shimmer paper, pastel shimmer. And I did it with yellow as a trim. This one, I'm doing yellow shimmer, right? Lemon Lolly pastel shimmer. And I'm using it as the background on this one. And I'm going to use the Pretty in Pink as on the front here. So you can see it's going to look different just because I changed colors. These are nice. I like it because they're nice and simple. And I can stuff them, right? I can stuff them with candy and a cascaroni egg. Let me tilt it a little bit so I can see. I haven't put anything in this one yet. So I'm just going to, so I just made sure this is like not quite at the edge, but just enough at the edge, right? It looks, gives a nice little trim look there. Okay. All right. So the eggs here, I see one that's cut. But, you know, I'm in the position, right? I need for speed. So all you got to do is I just went and cut the DSP paper, right? To have my Easter eggs. I mean, Easter eggs come in all kinds of shapes and everything else. You saw the cascaroni eggs here. And I have another extra one. I mean, so cascaroni eggs, a lot of times people dye them in solid, right? Because the egg's hollowed out. See there? So this one's like almost a hot pink. I got another yellow one over there. So what I did is so I've got the eggs. This one did in stripes. And I just cut them in half, right? So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a little glue to the back of it. And I'm going to cut another one in half. And what I did is I just tucked them behind the chicks. So, right, so if you just know where your chicks are going to be, or else get the eggs down first and then place your chicks, that's fine. So I just placed it like this. So, right, because all you're going to see anyway is part of the egg, all right? You're just going to see part of the egg. So it's not like you have to worry about the bulk of a whole egg. Now, I could put the whole egg there, but what's the point when I'm going to make 30 of these, right? So I need every egg I can get. And it's die cutting, right? So cut the egg in half. Nobody's going to care. Everybody's going to be busy looking at how cute your little treat holder is. They're not going to worry about whether you got half an egg back there or not. Only if it's a demonstrator wanting to sit there and copy what you've made. And that's fine. Then just tell them, right? If they want to know, just tell them. They don't have to dissect it. Okay, and I see, I just put the chick right here. And my 2 eggs are right there. Okay? So you can mess around with your chicks and move around a little bit more if you want to. I'm not. And then I just turned around and I sat there and took the bling here. Now I've got blue here. Oh, there's the other half egg right there. All right, so looky here. Now I can use the blue real easily, right? Because it would look really nice right in there. So instead, I see originally I put the eggs, which I did right here for the bling. For this one, I can actually do the blue, and I am, and I'll tell you why, because we're going to use that blue ribbon. I'm going to show you how we're going to use it. And then we're going to make the next one that's really easy, too. So I'm just going to take this. So this one's different, right? Because the other one's an egg shape. This one's not. These are just circles. So I'm just going to put them down just straight, right? The eggs, I could turn them any way I wanted to. And these I'm just going to put down flat like this. I think I am. Because the yellow would show up. I think the blue's going to really pop in with the fact that I'm going to put the blue ribbon. I think that's what I got into when I made the other one is I got through and I went to put the blue ribbon on it. I mean, thought, man, this doesn't even look right because I have no blue. All right, this time I made sure I had some blue. All right, so we're going to do this. It's just I'm going to take this and we're going to come around like this. Now, I didn't measure this. I hadn't done this yet because the first time around the blue just didn't work for me, so I didn't even bother. So let's take this around. So get it where you want it, okay? And I like to leave myself about 8 inches to make a bow. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to cut it right here and we'll measure it, okay? And if you don't have anything to measure by, then get what you want, whether it's a string or whatever, right? You can use a string to measure things by. This is size, so I can tell you how long this is. So, got my ruler, which you can't see. So 13. So this is a total of about 23 inches of ribbon. And we're going to see if I can do this live and make a bow in here. If not, then I'll do it later. And you'll just have to see it then. Okay, let's see here. Dun. So yeah, I haven't put anything here yet, but see, I'm doing this just on the lid, all right? So I'm not worried about that, because with me doing on the lid, I can open the lid and close the lid. Now, one thing you may want to do, and I will most likely do this here, as I'm looking at this and thinking about this, is I'm just going to go ahead and tie a knot. And then you say, why tie a knot? Well, because every time somebody opens their little egg carton, the bow's going to come in tight, right? But if I tie it in a knot, it's not. So the knot will still be there. It'll still be on the lid, and then I can still tie my bow. So I do that sometimes just because, right, I don't want it to come undone. And if it's not, if it's too loose or whatever, then it just gives me an opportunity to come back, and I'll mess with it and get it the way I want it. All right? So now what I would do is I'd most likely put a glue dot back here to anchor this on the back. That's up to you, but that's what I would do. But now I've got a nice bow. Looky there. I got a nice bow. If I want to, I could put a tag on here. It would dangle low, but I could if I wanted to. I'm not right now, but at least I've got a nice bow. I can trim it up. And like I said, I can put a glue dot on the back. Now the nice thing is no matter what, my ribbon's still the same size because I tied it in a knot. So I know I can make it back in a bow because I know I have enough ribbon here to make it back in a bow. All right, we'll just take a glue dot, put it on the back, and now just keep the bow attached. Or I should say the ribbon attached, not the bow, because the bow is on the front side. Alright, we're just going to put some glue dot here. If you want to do more than that, you could, right? Make sure I get my glue dot on there. It's sticking to me. Thank you. Okay. No, but you need to stay there. You put the ribbon there. Yes, so yes, we're doing live, right? So you can hear the dog. Oh, it's still stuck to me. Okay, if not, we're fixing to use something else here. That's my fingernail, right? Okay, it doesn't want to come attached there. Alright, let's use my scissors then. Well, don't sweat the small stuff, right? I mean, I've got a lot of these to make, and it's like, okay, get whatever works easiest. Right? You're sort of like, I'm sort of like, I've got 2 here. It's like 2 down and 28 more to make. Oh, yeah. Alright, so there you go. So I've got it secure back there, and it'll be right there. Okay? So there you go. So it just has to be stuffed with some Easter grass and so forth and all. The next one, we're going to have to go ahead and stuff it with Easter grass, and I'll show you why. Okay, the next one here, I got it stuffed with all kinds of stuff because I figured I'd stuff everything while I was at it, and I didn't do that one. It's okay. So I'm going to take everything out. I don't support any particular thing. Yesterday when I went to the grocery store, they were just putting out Easter candy. And I thought, oh my gosh, should I just snatch anything right then and there? All right. On this one here, we're going to do a wraparound. Literally, what I mean is a wraparound. So I actually took tape measure here. And I just wrapped it around the fattest part. Right? Just the fattest part of wherever I was going to go. And you see it's going to be 9 inches. Now, if you don't have a tape measure, okay, just take some ribbon or something. Main thing is you want to take around the fattest part because our paper is going to go around here, all right? And you want to add at least 1 inch on each side. So I added 2 inches. So when I measured this was 9 inches. I added 2 inches for 11 inches because I'm going to overlap them and glue them together at the bottom. So if that's what I'm going to do, I need to put my candy and everything in here now, right? If I want the person to get some candy or anything else. So yes, this is, use whatever kind you want. This is some that I've had, right? I always buy leftovers from one year to the next. So this is just this here. I know they do it in paper as well too. And I'm just going to put one of the eggs in here because I think these are fun to give to people. It's filled with confetti. We do those around Easter time. They do them for weddings. They do them for birthdays. I mean, we do it for any excuse to have confetti eggs is what happens, all right? That's just the bottom line. They're fun, and we're going to put a couple eggs in here. And I'm not worried about the grass. If you're worried about the grass hanging out, that's fine. just trim it when you close the box and get it all finished, okay? I'm not going to worry about it right now. I just want to get it all in here, right? And let's fold this up. And we're just going to get our stuffing all in there, okay? There we go. So with this, then, let's see. Okay, I've got 2 pieces of paper here I've already cut. So this one here is 2.5 inches by 12 inches. And this one here is 1.5 by 12. And I don't need 12. Remember, we just talked about 11 inches. But when I cut it, I thought, well, just go ahead and leave it there until you go and finish on the bottom and see if you want to go ahead and use that instead of just having an inch of stuff left over, right? So let's go ahead. I'm going to glue this down first, or you could use tearing tape. But you know what? I'm going to have to travel with this stuff in a suitcase. So I'm going to use glue. Yes, this is the back. So this, right, you just flip this over and yeah, this is beautiful paper on both sides. And I'm just going to put glue on it. So yes, when I create for you guys on Wednesdays, I usually, right, I have somebody in mind I'm going to use it for or do with it, right? I know I'm going to give it to somebody. And it's usually not giving it to myself either. I'm giving it to somebody outside of my... It might be somebody that lives in this household, but since we're pretty much close to empty nesters, it's not too many people, and the dog doesn't usually get anything. All right, so I've got this right here. It almost makes me look at this. I'm looking at the stripes. It makes me look like it's not cut right. I'm not sure, but we're going to wrap anyway because nobody's going to know about it unless they watch the video and watch it here. Okay, now this is why I had you to measure the widest part. See, because we're going to cross over right here. So part of it was trying to figure out, and I see how much I've got left over. So I really didn't want that much, right? I just really just want, if you've ever looked, even if you go to the store right now and you would buy a carton of cascaroni eggs, or you bought a carton of chocolate eggs. Right now, they put those chocolate marshmallow type eggs on an egg carton. You just want it to cross over with not too much extra, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this down. So it said 9 inches, and I want to cross over. It looks like, man, I could really cut, wow, most like 1.5 inches. Let me go with 1.5 inches. It's sort of like when you cook, right? It's easier to cut a little first. And because, you know what, I'm just going to guess. Where's my 1.5 inches here? Okay, I'm just going to cut across this right here. I was going to get my trimmer out, but I've got it buried between candy and everything else over there. And Easter grass, right? And Easter grass. All right, so just cut off 1.5 inches. So this was originally 12. You take away 1.5 inches, it's going to be 10.5 inches. All right, so I'm going to come across right here. I was looking to see if I had one of my clips. And I'm just going to come right here. Now, see, it still looks like I could trim it a little more. But I think we're just going to let it be. And I'm just going to come right here. And I'm going to come right here. And I'm looking to see if I've got one of either my little alligator clips or... I do want to get it as snug as I can, right? Because this is going to be, like I said, going through the airport. It's going to be in my luggage. And I want it to survive the travel of getting to Long Beach, California. Forget how long the flight is, but right, I gotta get there. First, I just gotta get there. So I gotta get these made and into the suitcase and still have room for my clothing too, right? All right, so I'm gonna do it right here. Yeah, it's just a little bit wider there. I'm not sure, but we're still gonna find one of my little clips here. Let's see if I can clip that here. Just let it dry. Okay, so while it's drying, we're going to flip it over on this side, all right? So what I want to do on this side here is I've actually got a tag. Now, yeah, I brought the colors as well, too. So we're going to actually, I'm going to put a tag up here because I can, right? And we can have it drop down. It doesn't matter. It can droop down if you want. And I'm going to put a rabbit on here, all right? And we're going to trim, don't worry about the grass. We can trim off the grass. I'm looking at that grass right now thinking it needs a haircut. It's going to get a haircut. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp the bunny. So in some respects, I think this is quicker, but then in some respects, it's not, right? Because I got to stamp the bunny. I'm going to color the bunny's ears. And then we're actually going to, so I'm going to actually color around the bunny as well with some crumb cake Stampin' Blend. Just give it a little extra color, right? Now I'm going to flick some color. So, however, though, if I was going to flick color for a bunch of them, right, I would just put them all down and flick it, and then I'd just go die cut. Because flicking color is sort of a neat technique, because the fact is it's not a lot of color, it's subtle color, right? And it just gives it an extra pop with plain paper. So this bunny's going to be white on white, right? Because I got the tag that's white. So I just want to add a little something so it didn't look so white. How does that sound? So I'm going to take the crumb cake here, and I'm just going to go or outline the rabbit. I'm just going to outline the rabbit. All right, so therefore it's just going to give a little extra color, right, because I outlined the rabbit. I'm going right next to the gray, the smoky slate color I did there. And see how it just gives just a little bit of color. We haven't gone dramatic or anything one way or the other, but it's giving it enough. I do like cutting the little bunny's hands out so I can put it over the grass and let them hang out of the basket. I think that's cute. I'm just going to do this here, and I'm just going to go all the way around, right? Just going to leave a little additional color besides just the smoky slate. That's all we're trying to do. Okay? And there we go. I forgot the nose. We'll do the nose. The cute little pink nose. Okay. So I am going to move the bunny out of the way just a moment as we flick color. Everything around here can get color flicked on it. It's not going to bother it one way or the other. But this is the one we definitely want to. I don't want the bunny. Bunny doesn't need it. We're going to flick some balmy blue. And as I thought about this, I have choices, right? As you look at this egg carton and look at this paper has balmy blue as well as the summer splash. And I was thinking it also had a little bit of pool party. I'm not seeing it right now. It might be on some of the other paper. So anyway, let's go with balmy blue then. And this is all we're going to do. We're just going to take this Stampin' Blend and we're going to take it and just... And it's got little speckles there. Now you can say, well, you know, you can't maybe see it. But what you're going to see when you go and put the bunny next to it, it's not going to be quite as white, right? They look like a little bit off. We want to do it a little bit darker, we can. I didn't bring the darker one. They have a light and a dark. I brought the light. Sort of like knock yourself out. How much blue do you want, right? I want it enough, right? So the bunny isn't, you know, I can tell between the bunny and this that there's two different colors, right? We're just not white on white. The other thing is now I can tie my bow here, right, and put the bunny. So I can put Happy Easter if I want to. I can put For You. I can put Hello Spring. I can put whatever I want. I think I'm going to put For You, and we'll do it in balmy blue. I'm going to first get the rabbit on, and I'm just going to put the rabbit on with glue, all right, because this is going to sort of dangle. And I'm just going to put it on the left side of the rabbit, right? It depends which way you're going to do the rabbit, but I'm going to make sure it's the left side because I'm going to make sure to, my For You, we're going to have to sit up there, and I'm not going to do it all the way across. I'm going to do For and You, just like that. But this also allows me to put somebody's name on back if I want to, right? Because if I'm going to make 30 of these, I know specific people for sure that are going to get this, right? And some of the people are friends, so some are going to automatically get it, and some it's sort of like a first come, first served basis. So some of them I will have names on, others I will not. So we're going to sit there, and I'm going to go ahead and take this rabbit off for the second, since I'm going to mask. And I'll have to come back and clean it. Alright, we're going to do this in balmy blue. I brought Pool Party just in case, but I think it's going to be balmy blue because we're going to put the ribbon around here too. Alright, so I'm just going to sit up there. I'm going to do the first word, For. So I'm just going to roll this. I'm just going to roll my stamp right across the ink pad. just like I was doing it 3 times, but instead I'm just doing it for the one. Okay, now we'll need to clean this off because I don't want to accidentally do the other. So we got there. Okay, and we'll get the U on here. So we're going to do the same things. I'll just reverse it. So I'm just, again, roll the word U across the ink pad like this. So I just gently did that. It wasn't really anything forceful at all. And then I'm going to do U down here. Okay, so there you go. So you can do masking if you want to do it, or you can use a Post-it note. Today I just rolled it because I didn't want to go get either one. It's all about time, right? Okay. So now, though, I can also put my little Easter eggs on here. So let's get our little Easter eggs on here. And I'm just going to get them off with my paper snips, maybe easier. We'll see. I think these are so cute. I'm glad they came back in stock, right? And we can put a couple on there if you want to. All right, let's get some ribbon in here. So if we want to wrap the ribbon around, right, we already know it's 9.5 inches. And there we are. Our glue is done. Thank you, paper clips. They come handy for a lot of things. Now, I don't remember which was the front of... This looks like the front. Okay. So I'm just going to take this and wrap this around. So we already know we need at least 9 inches, right? So I'm guessing this is, well, I hate to even guess. Let me just measure it. Right, I'm one of those people, it's sort of like a recipe, right? I can salt and pepper something to taste, but if I'm giving it to somebody else, I need to tell you what it really is. So, for you, that is 23 inches. Okay. What I thought I was going to do with the paper. All right, we're just going to take it, and I'm going to tie a bow. And again, right? Now this one, right, I had to have everything in it first, because once this little baby's sealed, I am going to tie a knot here. And I have choices, right? I can either attach my tag on with what I've got down here, or I could use some linen thread. So my thoughts was, though, I would just take and use this, and I would sit there and put this on here with this, and a bow. Let me see which edge is sharper there. Right? So it's just this one's, now to me, this one's, oh, they would be good for those Cadbury eggs. You are so right. I mean, there's so much out there. I mean, it's funny, right? We just got through with, you know, Valentine's and everything and all. It's like, you know, they didn't have the Easter stuff out yet. It's like, oh my gosh. It was funny yesterday to go to the store and just see them. I was watching them stock the shelves, and I went and got things just in case, because one of my favorite stores, hobby stores, they're like already almost sold out of all their Easter stuff, and they're not putting any more stuff out except for napkins and tablecloths. I asked, I thought maybe I was mistaken, but nope, they weren't. So I had to ask the grocery store, and when I saw them putting the stuff out, I'm going, yay. All right, so we can sit there and tie this into a bow. And I think I would like the linen thread better, maybe to have it dangling, but we'll see. I just want it to be right here, right? And I can put a little bow. And we're going to get that little bow. Just a moment there. Come on. All right. But you get the idea, right? So this one, to me, in some respects, allows me to use my DSP. If I have a lot of DSP that I need to, like, work on using up. And I can come and trim this. Now this one I've got closed, right? So this person's gonna have to. They could slide off. They could slide this off. There's enough room to slide this off. And I'm gonna just come and whack this stuff off right here, so it doesn't bother me or you. Okay. The person on getting it might be wanting to know what's on the inside with all that grass, but it's okay. They can wait. All right. So I trimmed up that grass, and looky there. Look how nice and easy it is to make. I like this. I like this. So here's this one here, and here's the other one I made right here. Right? It's just a preference of choice of what you prefer to do. But they both hold the same items, right? They both hold a cascaroni egg as well as grass, as well as chocolate for all our chocolate lovers. So I hope you enjoyed that, right? It's all about creating, sharing, and giving, right? And with Easter, March, it's April 5th, still have plenty of time to go out there and create something and be able to give. So I know I have at least 30 egg cartons to do. So I have 3 down and 27 more to go. So I hope you enjoyed it. Go out there, create, share, and give, and make a difference in someone else's life. And with that, be blessed. Have an amazing week. And I want to thank you for following us not only on here on Facebook, but also on YouTube and Instagram. Be blessed. See you next week. Bye.